Please, hello family. This is Kimberly Purpose and welcome to my channel. Today I want to do another video on the meaning of forgiveness and why they want you to say it. I've been noticing that throughout the media, they always, whenever there's an interview of a American Aboriginal family here in the U.S. primarily, and when a crime is inflicted upon that family by a Caucasian, a gray, the reporters, not just reporters, just everybody in general, the mainstream media, and just people in general always want the Aboriginal family to forgive the Caucasian that inflicted the crime or the violence or whatever evil deed they done upon the family. Ask them to forgive them. And I have a problem with that, especially with the Amber Geiger case and many other cases, because it was a case where an American Aboriginal child was accused of inappropriately touching a grown gray Caucasoid female up in, I think it was in New York, and the child was no more than 9 years old, and he was and just came out when they did this. They looked at the camera, and the story showed that he didn't even brush up against the woman. It was his book bag, and he didn't even, he wasn't even studying the woman in the first place, but he was being accused. And everybody was trying to pressure this poor child to saying, "Oh, he forgives this woman," and he said, "No, I don't forgive her." But I'm not sure if he told later on, changed and said that he forgive her, but I just know there's a chronic pressure of telling us to forgive these people. And I believe there's a reason why they want that. It's a reason, I believe it's a mixture of ritual, because, I'm into spirituality, and also psychological, because I'm a psychotherapist, and I believe this thing's been going on for 400 years, and I sort of wanted to talk about it because I think it has a deeper meaning than what is being said, because I've been doing some research. I looked on here in the Etymology dictionary under the word forgiveness, and I want to go more into detail because I feel like it's something behind that. And I believe, too, it's important that we start changing our mindset and understanding psychology more clearly, because the more I study psychology and reading up on things and know what to look for, I start seeing things. And also with spirituality, you understand the history. This whole language, English language is pagan. And, with the pagan rituals, witchcraft and all of that. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Because when you think about it, mentioned in another video, and I mention this again, we are learning spellbinding as children when we go into the schools. Spelling of words, spellbinding, spelling. Believe it or not, they're teaching our children rituals from when they're young, pre-K, 4 years old. So we're starting to learn this, and it's like a brainwashing type technique of getting you to say certain things in order to increase frequencies. And people don't understand frequencies are very real. The indigenous people understood this. That's why it says be careful what you say, what you speak into the universe, because it has a deep rooted hold on things, and it really impacts everything, and it makes a difference. That's why it's important that we learn the meaning of these words and what we're saying and what we're speaking into existence. We need to understand that Christianity made us so docile. No, it's people. We're naturally peaceful, people. We even helped the people during colonization. When the Greys came over here, they didn't know how to do anything, and we helped them, unfortunately. And when we helped them, our kindness turned out to be a bad fall. The root of our demise, pretty much, in the erasure of our existence as people, as indigenous people. That's why it's important to understand the English language system and understand what these caucasoids are bringing into existence with their words. That's why they want to have the power of the pen. That's why they want to have the power of the media and want to put down their narratives only and then not have us write anything. They don't want us, our side. Everything got to be about them. And, selfish, self-oriented group of people that only want everything slanted their way, which is wrong. So, anyway, in this etymology dictionary, this is pretty much their way of describing their language and doing the origins of particular language. That's why we need to be researching our indigenous language and understanding what our ancestors try to reconnect back to who our ancestors are, which are the Indians, which they try to keep us from knowing, but it's a fact. We're the Paleoindians. Indians. So it says here, forgive. It's a verb. It says Old English for forgiven. Give, grant, allow, remit, a debt, a pardon, an offense. Also, give up and give in marriage. Past tense, prince. Tense, forgive. Past participle, forgiven. From, for, here, probably, completely. Given, to give. From pi root. And then they got gab, to give or receive. Y'all see that? So it's like you're giving up. And then it says to pardon an offense. Pardon means to let go of an offense. If someone did something wrong to you, you're just telling them to let it go or to give it up. And then it says here, to give and receive. And even further, that's what it means right here. To give or receive. See, these words have layers upon layers of meanings, and it goes back to their past, as their group of people and how it benefits them. And then it goes here, the sense of to give up, desire, or power to punish. See, this is critical, you guys. It's like whenever you say the word forgive, you're speaking into the frequencies, spirituality, psychologically, mentally, to give up the desire or power to punish. Okay? We need to understand that there's a time and a place to use the word forgive. Okay? It's all right. No minor things that's not going to, make, that's trivial, I can understand. But murder, like the Emily, whatever that lady's name, the Geiger case, that was an extreme assassination. No, murder, a person needs to, suffer the consequences. And she was one person that does not deserve any type of forgiveness. And now it's another girl that got shot by police. And we're going to see a great caucasoid is going to tell us, tell that family, you need to forgive the cop or the former cop, because I think he just got fired, or he resigned before he got fired, because he's a gray and he just need to walk away free. No. Hopefully this family will learn from the Geiger case and understand that that person needs to be punished. Okay? A life for a life. He took that girl's life and he needs to suffer the consequence. Okay? And there's a time and a place for that. And back in the day, our indigenous people fought as Indians. They understood that. You know, we for some reason have been blinded for some reason through this false narrative of religion that was created by grace. And we follow their indoctrination and everything without thinking and having start thinking for ourselves and seeing things as they really are. And so it says here, you're giving up pretty much your power of punishment in this. And it says, for such a compound of Germanic loan translation of vulgar Latin, and then it says Old Saxon, Farbon, Dutch, Vergingen, German, Vergeben, to forgive, Gothic, Fragiban, to grant, and to see pardon, forgave, forgiving. And see, this is what it does. It's pretty much relinquishing your power to punish. And whenever we forgive like this, quite excessively, because I believe we excessively forgive. We forgive too much. And I think there's a such thing as forgiving too much. It's ridiculous. And I think it goes back to the slave days, because we was excessively punished quite severely in the past. And they trying to bring that back, that good old boy system back. But, we open our eyes, we can put a stop to that because it don't make no sense. And one way is just speaking into existence and understanding this language system into more detail. See, we forgive too much, and that's a big chronic problem. We need to stop. That is too much, too much. I'm going for extreme crimes, no. And there's nothing wrong with not forgiving a person because, and I think with Christianity, it made us too docile, and to the point where we believe that we got to forgive everybody for everything that they do. No, we don't, because we have the power, believe it or not, in our language and speaking into existence, relearning this English language, because we've been so heavily indoctrinated when we went into the school system that we don't even think for ourselves, and understand, there's a time and a place for forgiveness, okay? And we got to understand that we were fierce warriors. Our ancestors were warriors. We fought. And once we accepted all of the religious backgrounds and practices of the Caucasians, we started to let go of our indigenous ancestry and everything, and our indigenous roots of what our beliefs are, and that's something we need to tap back into. But then I want to go into punishment, which is pretty much the opposite of forgiveness. And I want to explain why the Caucasian use punishment. See, they expect us to forgive them for everything, but when it's reversed the other way around, they don't do the same thing. They go quite excessively on the punishment. And it says here, this is from the late 14th century. This is from the Anglo-Saxon French, punishment. Late 13th century, Old French, punishment, and from punir, see punish, and meaning rough handling in the 1811s. See, all during the slave days, and all this stuff occurred during the slave time. And I just noticed all these language and everything goes into a time when they had all this slave trading going on. It was told to us in reverse. They say to translate to slave trade, but really they were actually pulling us and sending us here all over the Americas. No, all over the place, all over the world in the slave trade. And it's just weird how it's the 14th century, late 14th centuries, when Christopher Columbus came over here, and even though he wasn't the first, they still say that he was the first. As a matter of fact, it was his holiday was yesterday on the 14th, unfortunately. Still celebrating his holiday, still closing schools in some places, And so that's one holiday we shouldn't be celebrating at all as Indigenous Aborigines, because that's when he came over and slaughtered a lot of our people. But, a lot of the people here. So this is where it's originating from. And all of this whole language is set up for them to be in control of colonization, pretty much, and doing the slave trade of them, and them doing this globally. So I guess I could look up the word punish. Let's see what punish says. Then it says 1300. Old French punis, extended principal stem of punir to punish from Latin punir. Correct, chastise, take vengeance, for inflict a penalty, cause pain for some expense. Earlier, from pona, penalty, punishment. Colloquial meaning to inflict heavy damage or loss. In First Record 1801, originally embossing. So okay, this is prior to the 14th century, so it might be even before then. So it must be really thinking about this long and hard to create this. So, but anyway, it tells you where it originates from and how it's been established. And so, and it's pretty much, like I said, to inflict penalty. And whenever they speak about punishment for us, they speak it. They don't say, I forgive you American Aborigines or African, aka African Americans, for anything. They speak punish and they never forgive. And so, and that's what we need to inflict back onto them. And same thing. Our indigenous Aboriginal ancestors did that, and we need to start back. No, I do not forgive you. You need to be punished. That's what we need to start speaking into the universe. Punishment for the great caucasoids that inflict pain upon us. Okay? And just, punishment for all people. It should go across the board. It shouldn't even matter what color person it is. If they went around killing somebody, they should be punished. No hands over life. We need to respect life. And we as American Aborigines need to respect our lives as indigenous people. We don't. We even value gray caucasoids life more so than ourselves. And that's something we need to get out of. And this has stemmed from lack of love, self-love. And that's something we need to. And you look at the history. I went and did a Google search. Punishment against African Americans. You can't, and I looked under American Aboriginals. There's not that many pictures of American Aborigines in the Google search. They have mostly Australian Aborigines, in the search. But, this name is a misnomer. It's not correct. We are the American Aborigines. And I'm going to label it such in this video. The indigenous Aboriginal people of here in the Americas. And these are some of the pictures of what they did to us as punishment. And see, they speak punishment upon us always. And see, these are these pictures, excessive pictures of what they done to us, to our ancestors. And they still doing to this day. Because I heard about one guy got 60 years jail time just for something so trivial. I can't remember what he did, but it was so minor. I think he was driving without his driver's license or something, or had a suspended driver's license. They gave him 60 years. That is excessive. And these are what the Grays do. He had a gray caucasoid, racist ass judge who put that sentence on him. And someone should do some research. Oh, how do you do gray caucasoids that way? How many grays have you put in jail for suspended driver's license? I'm pretty sure you had several that come in there with the same type of criminal the same offense. Did you send them in jail for 60 years? I highly doubt it. And if he didn't, he should be fired from the bench. because that's showing biasness. As a judge, you're supposed to show unbiasedness for all, besides just your own kind. And if you are racially biased, then you don't need to be on the court. You should not be judging anyone who's an American Aborigine. You want to only judge your gray Caucasoid self, then go into an area that's only grays, or go back to somewhere else where it's only gray folks there. But if you are in a diverse area where it's people of many ethnic backgrounds, especially against the American Aborigines, then you don't have no right to be doing any type. You need to step down as a judge. That's what I say. You can't be fair, because 60 years is extremely excessive. It's like they're trying to take the youth out of that person, where they can't ever enjoy themselves as the younger years. That's the time, that's your prime, when you're able to do things and have a family, have children. And I think they purposely do that because they don't want us to have families anymore. That's why so many of our males are in prison. That's why a lot of Black females are having a hard time finding husbands, because of that. Because a lot of our men that are the same age are not here because they got them in jail. And that was by design. And they try to paint this false narrative that they're the most criminal, that Aborigines are the most criminal, when actually it's the grays. You look at the research, the FBI report, you see that they're the main ones committing the crime. And of course, it makes sense. If they don't have no punishment, they're going to do more crimes because they don't get no punishment. And that's the problem. Grays need to be going to jail for a lot of that stuff they be doing. Just like with the crack epidemic, they had Blacks going to prison quite excessively. Some of them still in prison for marijuana. And now, and some states are legalizing it. And I feel like, me personally, I feel like they should be, since they legalizing it in some states, marijuana use, then they need to let all of those people that went in jail for all those years out. They need to be out of prison. Why are they still in there if it's legal now? And it's just it's ridiculous. And then we know where it stems from. And like I said, they shouldn't even be in jail. And then, especially if they let grays stay out of prison for being a drug addict. How come the drug addicts during the 80s and the 90s are still in jail for crack or cocaine, or for the drug use or marijuana? And most of them were Aborigines. For the crack epidemic and all. And you letting the grays not go to jail for their drug abuse and not criminalizing them, then you need to let them out. And that's the fair thing to do. But they're not going to do it because they are privatizing. They want cheap labor. And it's another form of slavery. All it is not slavery. Here in the Americas, this country is based on slavery. These companies and organizations don't know how to, especially owned by grays, don't know how to work for themselves and pay people like they're supposed to. The only thing they know is to keep on getting Aborigines back in prison so they can have free labor. But I can go on and on and on about this. And it's really deep, you guys. And then this forgiveness. And I just wanted to show the sick, twisted, this is just disgusting. I wanted to barf when I saw that. He didn't have no business hugging that white heifer, the gray heifer, I meant to say. And McGregor got off like a fat ass rat. And she should have been in jail much longer than that for what she's done. And part of it is because he allowed it with his mouth. His brother should have kept his mouth shut. She would have been in there longer, got a healthier sentence. And we don't realize we got power. We have power. There's power in words, you guys. There's power in words. And that's why, oops, let me close that out. Sorry, guys. There's power in words. And we need to remember that. We really do need to remember that. And it stems from our history, our ancestors, and what we've been through. Oh gosh. Sorry guys, this thing keeps on jumping. I was trying to click this picture. And we gotta remember this. So we gotta remember our indigenous aboriginal roots and heritage. Yeah, we were the sharecroppers, and there was slavery too. But there's more to us than what is no that meets the eye. And one way we can empower ourselves is stop using forgiveness for these criminals. If they have done something wrong and evil to us, then it's our right to not forgive. You seek punishment. And we need to go back to our indigenous chant. It's one chant that I do personally that actually works for me is the ay ya 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 ay ya 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 ay ya 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 ay ya ya ya. And I've been noticing differences in my life. I speak that, and that warrior spirit. You need to go back to that. And I usually do it in a range of four, because four is a building number. And according to numerology, fours and eights, are good building numbers. And I say Hua, Hua, Most High. I try to use many words in our indigenous tongue. That's one thing we got to do is research that and understand this language and how to properly use this language for our own benefit. One way is to speak punishment for those who have inflicted pain upon us, because they need to be punished. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think when you start learning more about your indigenous spirituality and roots, you understand that it's okay. But we are so heavily indoctrinated and been forced to study Christianity. Christianity is so heavily influenced by forgiveness, like, oh, you got to forgive. No, you don't have to forgive everybody. We have the power within us. We can judge that. And for some reason, we think that you got to forgive everyone. No, that comes from the slave codes. And I did a video on that. Y'all might want to check that out. I might do another updated video because I think I did that like almost 2 years ago about the slave codes and the black codes, the slave codes that they came up with and enforce forgiveness down our throat constantly, chronically. And I think I will do a video on that because, like I said, this is very psychological, you guys. It's a mental. And like I said, that Stockholm syndrome is real. And that's what's the problem we have is we're forgiving our enemy too much, chronically. And there's a time and place for that. It's a time and place where that, murder, no. We should not forgive that. And it's our right to tap into our warrior spirit to enlighten justice. Okay? Because justice needs to be served. And it's our right to do our indigenous chant. It's our right to create our own rituals. Because all this ritualistic stuff is based on paganism, which influences European Great Caucasoids, which is actually a benefit for them. And in actuality, we need to be speaking our own rituals and creating and celebrating our own rituals. That's why I said giving homage to our ancestors. That's why November 15th is an indigenous holiday for me, because that's when one of the wars that the Indians won. And that's why we need to research some of the victories of our indigenous ancestors. Then we should do and bring a homage to them instead of celebrating their victories all the time. We need to celebrate ours. And one thing we need to do is stop speaking forgiveness for everyone who don't deserve it. Stop forgiving those who have done harm that actually took one of your relatives off the face of this earth. They didn't get a chance to live their whole life. It's evil and it's wrong. And justice needs to be served. No ands, if, or buts about it. Grays don't get no special privileges. Period. But that's all I had to say. I just wanted to show the differences. Because when we speak forgiveness, you forgive, all no punishment. You're just pretty much saying, when I say I forgive you, oh, I don't want you to have no punishment. You get away with it. You don't get no punishment, no repercussion. And then you can come back and do it again to everybody else. And everybody else can do it to me as well. That's what you're speaking. You say, I want you to be punished to the highest extent like you deserve, especially if you took one of mine. And it's all right because you had the power to speak it into the words. That little boy that said he didn't forget that gray Caucasoid female in New York, he did the right thing. He was tapping into his indigenous roots. He's young. He just learned into this world and he probably knew that. And he has a right to feel that way. And so, yeah. And so we need to change our mindset, you guys. I can understand forgiving people for minor things. That's not, no. But, forgiving people for murder, really? Really? And I'm praying this family don't do the same thing that the Amber Geiger, the family on the Amber Geiger case did, because that's a true sign of weakness. And what you're doing is you're speaking into the existence, into the world, especially when you do it on the media. That's why they keep on showing it over and over again, because they adding more frequencies into the universe and more grays getting away with killing us and not being punished. And that's why they want us to say forgive, because they want to get away with constantly harming you. That's what you're doing. Speak punishment so they understand there's a cost for harming us. And you ain't going to get away with it always. Okay? And we have power to do so. Okay? The Most High giving us that. We just got to, and the more you understand your own spirituality, you understand more about your ancestors, you understand more about your history and who you are, the more you don't tolerate things like you used to. You start seeing things as they really are. You're not brainwashed or sleep, in other words. But I can go on and on. This is going to be the conclusion of this video. My chakra necklaces. This is my clear necklaces with the feathers are now available. I have them in my Facebook, on my Facebook page. I'm going to try to see if I can put a link. I'm going to put a link up there for you all. You can get them through the Cash App. Now I have a Cash App finally. And I also have a PayPal. I'm going to get that set up too. So you all can order the necklace, but they are available. Some are already sold out. The clear ones, I think I don't have. I'll be ordering some more, but I have some different kinds. You can check it out on my Facebook page. But till next time, family, love and peace. Bye-bye.